Hello everyone, and welcome to another session of Thoughtful Leaders under our initiative Thoughts on Education. Today, with me is the Director General of XIME Group. He is Professor Dr. Kuncheria P. Isaac. Hello, sir, and welcome to our session of Thoughtful Leaders.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be with you, to interact with you, and to share my experience, Devendra. Good.
Thank you so much, sir. So without wasting much of your time, sir, I will directly start with the first question of the interview. So, sir, I wanted to understand, you have held key positions at educational institutes throughout your professional career. So what are the key factors that keeps you connected with the education sector?
A very wonderful question, actually. I will summarize the answer in one word: innovation. See, education is an area where changes have not happened for several decades, centuries. See, but today you will find that the virus, corona, has made tremendous changes in the education sector, moving from the brick and mortar classrooms to online education. So there we have seen several disruptive innovations happening automatically. See, normally the academicians are against making changes. They stick on to the same old practices. But my preference is that we should have innovations, changes happening in our education system, in our academic front, as it is happening in the industry or around the world. So this is what prompts me to be in the education field, where there is a lot of scope to innovate, scope to make changes in tune with the changes which is happening elsewhere other than in the education sector, so that you can bring our dynamic youths more thoughtful, better leaders, which is the requirement of every nation.
Absolutely right said, sir. So, sir, being the Director General of XIME Group, what is your philosophy of leadership? How would you describe your leadership style?
See, we have 3 campuses, one in Bangalore. This is the oldest one, which is about 25 years old. We have Kochi, the second edition, and the third edition is the Chennai one. So 3 campuses. So my philosophy to be as a Director General is that empowerment of faculty. First point. The first point is empowerment of faculty, wherein I believe that faculty is the key position in any institution which can bring in what I said earlier, the innovation, the changes in the teaching learning process or the pedagogy, the research, the interaction with the industries. All this, the faculty will have to lead. So I believe that empowerment of the faculty is the prime thing which I will be targeting. Second thing which I would say is that though we have 3 campuses, see, I have been in positions like AICT, where the whole country bigger. Okay. And the second one is even Kerala Technological University, which is much bigger.
Yes.
So I've been even in the sun everywhere. I would like, the second point which I would like to do is expansion.
Okay.
Means I would like to make this to grow from the PGDM status to a university level, which if you go through the new or the national education policy, you will find that the focus is to make every institution bigger in size and better in quality.
Correct.
So this is my second focus. So these are the two things agenda which I would be concentrating. And when I talk about the second agenda of expansion, I'll be more focusing on the research front as well the interaction with the industries, because without that, the students cannot gain a better knowledge and skills and attitude.
Absolutely right, sir. So I completely agree with the 2 points you have shared, sir. The first thing is the independency and autonomy you want to give to the faculty so that they can work out on their own to shape the careers of the students. And the second one, that you have a very great vision of making XIME Group as a university. So moving on to the third question, sir. So how do you strategize about the key programs and plans for the marketing and administration of XIME Group?
Well, XIMI has been founded by great leaders, and we have great leaders with us today also, like Professor Philip, Dr. Alexander, and Mr. P.C. Syriac, all veterans in the field. But my focus, I mean, they are the guiding force, but my focus will be on digital transformation.
Okay.
Now, this is something which I believe I have experimented, that digital transformation is one of the things which every academic institution has to do. Wherever I have been, I've been trying to make every university, every institute to be digitally well equipped. See, but today you will find that the digital transformation is happening probably in the administration, admission, right? But how far we have gone into the teaching learning?
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, then only it will become completely, successful in making it a digital transformation. It is happening everywhere. Every industry, every process is now digitally driven. So how do you make the entire process of the university digitally driven, including your teaching learning? Then you will become successful. If you look at a few things, if you look at a few things like the teaching learning process which is happening. See, today we are using all this video conferencing tools or platforms.
Yes.
But how far the faculty is making use of tools which will help them to deliver the lectures in a better way? See, this is what I said, the change, the innovation which has to happen. See, so far what we have been, the change which probably has happened is the PowerPoint presentation.
Yes.
That's right. So that is quite everywhere. But see, you will find tools like Miro, which is a collaborative tool. You will find tools like Kaggle, Jupyter, Tableau. I mean, you will find hundreds of such tools which will make the teaching learning process more interesting. The learning management as part of your learning management system. So, I mean, today every teacher is trying it out with chat, breakout sessions, polls, quizzes, group meetings, competitions. But now today you have a lot of such platforms available. So how do you make use of those platforms? By engaging the students in a better way so that the classes will become more and more interesting. So this is my focus on in XIME also, to make it more student-centric and more digitally, what you call digitally assisted.
It's really great to hear that XIME Group is trying to keep up the pace in the digital world, and you want to make sure that these digital tools should help XIME to attain that student centricity. So that's a very wonderful vision, sir, you are having, and I hope that this will gonna deliver a great fruitful result in future. So moving on to the next question, sir. So the education system in India and other foreign countries are structured in a very different way. So in your experience, what can an inbound student gain from studying in your XIME group?
See, if you take the management education which we are providing, he has to learn by practicing things. The Indian economic system, the Indian industrial system, the Indian culture, the Indian way of getting things done are entirely different. If a student comes from US and studies here, he will be able to get an insight into the way we have or we are getting the things done in India. See, if you are in US, it's hassle-free. I don't think you require a manager to do it. When you have hassles, you have problems, then only a manager's role is required. So in India, I would say that we can provide an ecosystem or a practicing background to the students to learn things in a practicing way so that they will be better equipped than studying in another country. Because we have a diversity, that we have diversity in everything. Everything we have diversity. Culture, languages spoken, the way people behave, all systems you will be able to look. I mean, if you travel throughout the country, you will be able to gain much more experience than even learning in a classroom.
Absolutely correct.
So this environment will make the students who are coming to India to study will get, they will get more benefit.
Very well said, sir. So I also believe in this theory of yours, what you said. So practice is something which makes the knowledge perfectly fitted inside your brain. It's like we can learn things in classroom, but to implement it, that gives a very different kind of experience, and that only brings the specializations inside our student. So I completely agree that there was a very special, I've read a line somewhere that if you want to learn marketing, you have to go to the market. So I think that completely is applicable here, what you have said, sir. So moving on to the next question, sir. So according to you, how does the curriculum of XIME group ensures the best practice of industry?
I would see, I'm not a management expert because I'm basically an engineer. I've been with the engineering colleges, and but I've been in the administrative positions, right? But still, my knowledge with the curriculum of the management is not that sound. I will have to accept that. But I'll say that one thing, that management education is focused on tools which are to be used by the managers. The tools means, you can understand what is tools. Second thing is, it's all based on case studies.
Yeah.
This is how things are happening. Fine. But don't we have to change it? I would say that we have to add more things into this. I said digital transformation first. So the first thing is that we should know how you can analyze the data in a better way so that you get more insights into the problems, so that you will be able to find a solution to that problem much faster and much easier. So data analytics will be the next focus point in our curriculum. Second point will be on design thinking. We would like to expose every student to a design thinking process in every course which they do it. See, this is something which is a change which we have to bring into the system. So this is what I said. Traditionally, we have been following case studies. Has been there for long years in management education, right? should we not make some changes? If you ask a management guru in IIMs, I've been in the boards of IIMs, but then that's in a different role. But if you ask any management professor, they'll say, no, we are happy with the case studies. Should we have a change?
Absolutely.
Should we go in for a design thinking process? So that is something which we have to bring in. The third point also I would like to tell is circular economy.
Okay.
So this is something which, because we have to make our living sustainable.
Correct.
How do you bring in that sustainability into the system? That is what reuse the material. I mean, you have got to get into that 3 R's and make that circular economy to happen. So that is the third point which we have to. And the fourth point, which I would like to tell is, we have to bring in that liberal education component also into this, in tune with the probably with the new education policy, where more courses could be taught into the management schools, like more of economics, more of philosophy, more of sociology. All these parameters are required by a manager to serve the people better or to analyze the problems better. Rather than concentrating, tools are required. I do agree. Without tools, you cannot do it. But along with the tools, we should also know how the people behave, the behavioral science. I mean, all this are taught, but more into the liberal arts courses will help the managers to think, analyze, and come out with solutions.
Absolutely, sir. I completely agree. Means like I still remember. So when I was doing my MBA, so one of my faculty used to tell me that the world is very uncertain, and there is no option where you can remove all the uncertainties. But if you really want to be a good manager, a good leader, what you can do best is you can have a data-driven and well-informed decision, and based on that, you can reduce those uncertainties and you can take the calculated risk. So that is what a job of actual manager is. To reduce the
without taking risk, he cannot become successful. If you follow, I mean, if you want to follow the same old thing which has been done by predecessor, then there is no point in me becoming a manager and occupying that seat. So here we have got to make changes and take risk. But how do you take risk? You will have to take a calculated risk. That calculation is the one which makes the difference.
Yes. So the calculation is the key for being successful. So moving on to the next question, sir. So any insights into how your XIME group could be more welcoming to students of different races or economic backgrounds?
Yeah. See, as far as XIME is concerned today, I'm very happy because we have students from 24 states.
Oh, that's really great.
So we are very small in number in terms of the number of students in all the 3 campuses. We are represented by 24 states. So that is the diversity, and that is our strength. So we have different races, people from different regions. So that alone that alone is sufficient. That representation from all the 24 states is more than sufficient to attract or improve that diversity. You don't have to tell anything else. That itself is a...
Correct, sir. Absolutely. I agree with you, sir. So, sir, according to you, what is your roles and responsibilities to the XIME group and to the students?
My role, if I say that I have already indicated earlier, that I would like to make it into greater heights in terms of its ranking, in terms of its quality of education. So that is the process of accreditation. So we would like to be the number one in terms of providing a quality education so that the graduates coming out of this institution can serve the industry better. So this skills, so this is my focus. My focus will be that to bring this institution into a, as I have mentioned, that it has to become larger, has to become bigger, because I believe that today, though we have about 40,000 plus institutions in the country, with a policy which is with the national education policy in the anvil. So I would say that it will come down to 10,000 institutions, maybe all granting institutions. So our focus will be to make it larger and provide, every day you have got to improve ourselves in terms of its quality, quantity. All this will have to keep on improving. The graph should never be parallel to the x-axis. It should be moving up. So that movement is the more focus which we have to do it, to make it better known nationally now. Okay, fine. Internationally, how do you go is something which we have got to really work it out. Because we would, if we attract students from the other countries, then because we also have an association with the countries of the BRICS and all. So naturally, we will be improving our positions in terms of the students from other countries and make it at a possibly at a higher level.
So, sir, according to you, what do you see as the greatest strength of XIME Group?
Data strength.
Yes.
Oh, this I have already told you that I would say that the greatest strength is that we have the first thing is that we have a well qualified, industry focused faculty. That's the first one. Most of the faculty are trained in the industry, but they are research focused also.
Okay.
So that is the first thing. The second thing is that our diversity. The students are from 24 states. Third point is, which no institute across the country could attain, we have a gender ratio of more than 50-50.
Oh,
women.
that's great.
Everywhere it is 10%, 15%. Yes. We have 50%.
Wow.
So this is something which is again very good strength, which gives them gives more strength for the students to come and learn. So that's something which is great, I would say. It's very difficult to have attain a gender ratio of 50-50.
Absolutely, sir. I've seen most of the colleges are not having that kind of a ratio. So it's a good thing that XIME is having that kind of equality and diversity too. So, I will move on to the last question of the interview, sir. So, any suggestions you would like to give to the current youth and the aspiring students?
In one sentence, if I put it, I would say that become a leader who can serve the society to better to solve their problems. See, what is the role of the manager? It's not to get into a high position and designation and earn money. That's part of the game. But what is your aim? Your aim has to be to serve the society.
Absolutely.
And you have to follow ethics.
Right.
In business. So you have to that ethics are to be followed. You have to be very clear. Otherwise, we will only generate people who will do unnecessary, what do you call, unethical practices. So we should, all the youth should be willing to serve the society with good ethics. That will really make our country progress.
Okay.
Without that value system, if you're not bringing or building a value system, you cannot progress. So how will you bring in a good value system in the organization where you work? Maybe you may be working in a big industry, maybe a small industry, maybe with an NGO, or maybe running your own entrepreneurship, a startup, because that culture is also growing. Startup. You have to bring in a value system to your organization which you are working, right? And also to serve the society better, so that your economy will grow, your community will improve, you will enjoy your life. Everything is dependent on how you are getting groomed as a leader with ethics and values. If you can do that, if every citizen of India is trained, it's not about management or anything, any education, anything is happening, any graduate coming out with these things, then we will be able to develop our society, develop our country into a better thing. We will be the number one in the world. Even now we are moving towards that, and we will be number one, and we may even, in terms of GDP and the economy, we will be number one. So this, if you can follow, and that is my advice to all my young students and graduates, or whoever is coming out and trying to work in the industries, to follow these things. Serve the society with ethics and values. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share my views.
Thank you so much. I'm really enlightened. Very beautifully you have portrayed the picture of values and ethics and how these two can lead the country towards a sustainable growth, towards becoming a developed nation. And the youth are the sole responsible for bringing that ethics and values into their daily working. It was a very wonderful session, sir, interacting with you. I'm really enlightened. And I hope the students who are going to watch this video, they also will feel very motivated, and they can expect what they are looking forward to have an association with XIME Group. Thank you so much, sir, for this interview.
Thank you very much, Devendra. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
So much, sir.